Hey, it's Coach Matt, this time talking to you about feedback in the classroom. Feedback is the information given after performance. This may come in the form of corrections on a grading assignment, or while a student is trying to figure out a problem and letting them know what they have done right and what they have done wrong, or handing out an answer sheet after a test, or even in PE and the student asks what he or she is doing wrong in a particular skill. And there are many, many more examples on how to give feedback in the classroom. But what kind of things should teachers give feedback on? Well, there are three things that teachers should give feedback on. One that really should be avoided. The task. The task should be over the errors, helping the student think correctly on how to get to the answer, helping the student understand where he or she's thinking went wrong in an assignment, or where there may be a misunderstanding of the assignment. Something like the English teacher saying, looking over your homework, it looks like you did not understand the differences between adjectives and adverbs. Let's review that. The process. The process should be about the approach and other ways on how the student can go about to complete the assignment or task. PE teacher says, I noticed that when getting ready to bat in class, you were nervous that you wouldn't hit the ball, but you just got to remember to have fun and relax when you're on deck. Self-regulation feedback. Self-regulation feedback should be assisting the student as he or she decides what ways are best for them to learn, teaching them to monitor themselves while learning. History teacher says, I noticed you did not do well on the test. Could it be because while filling out the study guide, you let your group members do all the work while you simply wrote down their answers? How could you better prepare for the test next time? Feedback should not be on the individuals themselves. Things like, good job, you did poorly, or good try. Having this type of feedback alone is too vague and does not provide specific detailed feedback for the student. If one really wishes to use this type of feedback, they should consider attaching another type of feedback to it, like a math teacher saying, good job, you really know how to go about the process of that long division problem. So how should feedback be given? Stick to the essentials. Do not judge and tell a student every single thing that they have done wrong with an assignment. Pick out what is most important. Ask yourself, if my student redid this assignment, what change would make the most significance? What is the most important tool that I can give my learner that will help them be successful in the future? If a student hands in a paper and they receive a C, should I really bombard them with the feedback of hundreds of grammar mistakes, or should I give feedback focused on creating a good argument in their thesis? Teachers can still mention other errors, but the feedback should be focused on the most essential. Resubmission. Give the learner a chance to take feedback and incorporate it into the skills they have already learned. Maybe I should let them make corrections to the paper and focus my grading this time on the one essential feedback. I should do something to let the student learn from my feedback. What some teachers do today is hand out multiple choice tests. They pass out the questions and have the students write the answers on a separate piece of paper known as a Scantron. After the test is graded, the teacher hands back the Scantron with the corrected answers, but without the question sheet. So my question to you is, how will the students gain feedback on only receiving the Scantron back? This student has no immediate feedback for what he has done wrong, and the same is true for those who only missed a few questions on the test. Scantrons are a great form of technology, but are useless form of feedback without the original questions being passed back as well. After a test is a great opportunity to give feedback to your learners. John Hattie has done many different studies on students in the classroom, and he has concluded that feedback comes in the number 10 spot of the most positive influences that increase student learning. John Hattie says that proper use of feedback in the classroom will double the speed of learning, and that feedback should be specialized per student and presented when and where it has best benefit. Looking at the graph to the left shows some of Hattie's research. Anything above a point 4 is positive influence, and anything below a point 4 is negative influence. Pause the video now to look over the graph, or go to the link in the description under my references to view the whole picture. This graph shows teachers that have passed a class on how to give quality feedback and how they use what they have learned on their students and their homework. The pre-time is the first homework assignment without any feedback. The post times, 1 through 4, indicate how the students did on their next homework assignment after feedback from the previous ones. Looking at the mean, the students got progressively better as they applied their feedback from their previous homework assignment to the next one. More than just teacher-to-student feedback goes on in the classroom. The teacher can also receive some feedback from their students. Teacher evaluations at the end of the year is a great way to receive feedback, but not the only way. Teachers can also ask things like, am I making sense? Any questions? Any comments? Etc. during any lesson. The conclusion of Husain's study says, students' feedback is an important and effective tool for the teacher's evaluation, but other sources of feedback may also be utilized for the overall assessment of a teacher. The conclusion of Iqbal's study says student feedback is a valuable source for the teachers to improve the practicum and allows prospective teachers to directly evaluate the effectiveness of their teaching. This is my reference page, and I would like to thank you and encourage you to use feedback to enhance your students' learning in all your future lessons. God bless.